All right, everybody. If you are not speaking right now, if you go ahead and mute, that would be fantastic. We're going to launch off this evening with a testimonial, and real excited to share with you the results of several of the things that took place at the Orlando Leadership Summit and some of the really great things that are coming forward. And while I was there, I met Tracy St. Clair, and she was just a bundle of energy. And I asked her, how long have you been in NECAN? And she said, was it 2 months, Tracy? Is that right?
March 9th.
She knows the date.
It was my birthday.
She has a new birthday.
Yep, it's a present to myself.
Fantastic. Would you share your NECAN journey? What's happened for you so far?
Yes, in 2006, I was in a bad car accident, and I saw 13 different specialists who told me the same thing, that I'm going to have this pain unless I have surgery. And if I have surgery, I'm going to lose the use of my arm. Needless to say, I was into bodybuilding and worked out all the time, and I decided I'm not going to lose the use of my arm. So for over 11 years, I dealt with the pain, because I'm highly allergic to narcotics and pain medications, and I used that. I had a crutch. I self-medicated with alcohol for a very long time. The pain was at a 6 to an 8 level. I started using the tape, as you can see here, and 5 minutes after putting it on, I've been pain-free ever since. And because that has altered me so much, I have started using the shakes. And in the first month, I've lost 22 pounds from the shakes.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a whole new me. I'm actually feeling like myself again, which I lost when that woman hit me in that car accident 11 years ago.
It's no fun when you lose yourself.
Yes, no fun. So I'm very excited about being me and getting back to being healthy and living pain-free. And if it wasn't for this tape, because I can't do the magnets, I'm too sensitive. So if it wasn't for this tape, I would be still in pain today.
Awesome. Now, you've not only had results yourself, but you've decided that it might be worth sharing as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, my aunt was in a wheelchair for 2 to 3 months. They said she had to have surgery on her ankle, and she's actually a great aunt. So she's about 80 years old, and my cousin bought her the tape, and she's been using the tape. She's been pain-free now for about 3.5 weeks, and she doesn't need a wheelchair, and she's walking with no surgery.
Woo!
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
It's amazing.
Anybody else that you've shared with?
Yeah, I have a young man who has, he had a heart attack at 20. He has very narrow blood vessels. So what I've done is I've given him the necklace to wear, because he puts biofreeze on his forehead and has rubbed his forehead completely raw. And it has helped him to where he doesn't need to have the biofreeze. He doesn't need to have the medication. He said he does have a bit of a pain, but it's so bearable that he doesn't even notice it's there. So it totally changed his life.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Anything else that anybody else knows?
Well, several people have used the tape for back pain, neck pain, wrist pain, and every one of them have had positive results. So it's been a change for everybody that way. I've got some people just actually starting the shakes. I've got a little bit of a diet program that I've kind of made up for them to follow. And they are following that to a T, they're telling me, before they got the shake. So they should have gotten it today or tomorrow. So everything's looking good. Everything's looking really good. People are really happy. People are excited. I talked to several people today about the tape. I gave out some tape, and they're going to buy. They're going to buy because they know they're going to see the results that I have, because they've seen me in pain and crying and miserable.
Well, it's got to be fun not to be miserable anymore.
I did. There's a huge smile on my face.
Where do you see this going, and what are your goals by San Antonio?
My goals by San Antonio is to be, I want to be at least gold by San Antonio. I have some things brewing up a little bit, and I'm looking at probably touching base within the next 2 months with what I have planned, somewhere around, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 people or more.
Ooh, something's really brewing then.
Yes, something's really brewing. So that's going to be all in person that I'm going to be doing. And then I have something else, another project I'm trying to come up with that I think if I can launch this with the internet, that I think that would benefit every one of us. So I'm got some ideas and I'm tossing them around, and it takes me a bit of time, but once it comes around, I think it'll be great.
Well, good. You know, anytime you have an idea and you can act on it and start moving those things around, that's really good.
Yeah.
Stay good touch with Dave. He's a good man. He'll help you out a bunch.
Oh, definite. And that's I talk to Dave almost every day.
Excellent.
So
thank you so much for joining. Whoa. Did I just hear something? You said you talk to Dave how often?
About every day.
I wonder if there's a little bit of a formula for success in that. Talk to your mentors, folks. Bug them a bunch with good things to bug them about, like 3,000 people, right?
Yeah, definite. Yeah, because I'll tell you what. When I ask Dave a question, he sends me the brochure type, like the videos and things for me to read so that I'm educated on the products. I know what the products will do. If I have any questions and unsure of anything, I'm on that, even texting him or calling him saying, hey, help me here. So we have a 3-way call planned up. I have a new consultant joining me. So I'm excited there. And I talked to somebody else today, and I possibly will have them sign up as well. So I'm not sure if I'm going to put that other person, though, under one of my girls that I have currently, or I'll let him select.
So many problems. So will you share just real quick a highlight that you came back with from San Antonio?
I think the big thing is really to read a lot of information. A lot of the books that they talked about, Think and Grow Rich, is really important, because if you have the mindset that you can do this, if you have any negativity in your brain, it's going to come out, and you're not going to be successful. You have to believe and focus and have your goals, and like they talked this past weekend, you have to have that vision. If you don't have the vision and the reason why, then you're not gonna make it. But you have to have that, and you have to reach out for help. We're here to help each other. That's what it's about. Whether they're your upline or downline, it doesn't matter. Somebody you just know that you've met. We're all here to help one another to succeed in this business, and help Nikan succeed as well.
Excellent. I really appreciate you taking the time to be on this call, even though it's not your team. Thank you so very much. You're welcome to sit and listen in, but really appreciate it.
Actually, I'm on the East Coast, so it's getting late, and I'm going to go, but I want to thank everybody for listening, and anytime, I'm ready to be on another webinar whenever you need me.
Okay. Take care. Have a great evening, Tracy.
Right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Just by way of note, we've got a couple people who are going to be on. Linda, if you'd be on deck to be able to share some of the things that you're bringing back from the convention, I'd really appreciate that. Tonight was to be a night where we kicked off the weight management program, but I misscheduled that over the top of this return from Orlando. And so we're going to do that next week. So if you know people that want to get on the weight management program, the challenge that we're having with it, and the extra money that we're going to go with that, they have until next week to get their product for that. And I'm happy to send out any extra of the books, the workbooks that are going to go with that. Linda, are you there? Linda, are you there? Linda?
Yes, I'm here. It's getting late on this coast too. Yeah.
It's getting late on your coast too, huh?
It is. It's the same coast, I guess, as Alaska.
as Tracy, yeah. Well, would you mind sharing some of your takeaways from Orlando?
Wow, where do I begin? Actually, she mentioned a lot of the takeaways of really setting your goals. And actually, I was just getting to my computer and looking for my little sheet, my goal thermometers that I've used, and I'm pulling it out because I'm on a 90-day push. I'm all out. I mean, this morning, I hit the ground running. I went to bar class and met with somebody right after that this morning and had 5 appointments at my house. Impromptu scheduled a weekend. Actually, it's a party. It's and I have 2 other people involved in the community to do something fun. So one's an astrologer, the other one writes meditations. One is a member of a high-end the Vinoy here in St. Petersburg, and the other one's well known. So I'm going to be inviting people from very many walks of life for a party at my house. So it's going to be on the down low, but the astrologer has been a friend of mine for 15 years. She has a water system. She just got the duct tape. It's changed her life in 2 days. And it's going to be a low-key party, but it's going to be a door opener. I'm very excited about that. And I just have so many ideas that I already started implementing. I've been full out all day. In fact, I didn't even get my KVB until 5 o'clock today. That's how busy I
was. That's amazing. It's amazing. I remember texting you this, it was about midday today, and I said, would you mind being on the call? She said, well, I think I can work it in. I'm already on appointment number 5 right now. I'm like, whoa.
I know. Actually, I was on the kickoff call, and I was like, I'm going to hop in my sauna for the rest of it. So I'm glad you asked me first so that I can go do the rest of my balance for the day. But yeah, really setting those goals, playing full out, really wanting that big team to be in San Antonio, to go to Japan. Gary Bolton was messaging me on Facebook, or Messenger on Facebook, giving me some insight about some of my YouTubes. Hey, you don't have your website links on all of these. You need to get them on there. And, so it's cool. The team membership and how everybody really wants to help everyone else be successful is very cool. And, just setting those big goals every month. And Gary Bolton's talk about, there's a lot of people that want an extra $1,600 a month. That's $4,300 personal group volume. In retail sales, anybody wants a $1,600 pay raise, just go out and share your story and your great tools. And your wife, Peggy, even pointed out, she's like, Linda, you have over 500 customers. Surely a few of those might want to be people that are making it, earning extra money. Why don't you ask them all, actually? So, your wife, she's amazing. She had some great business insights that she kind of whacked me right upside the head, actually. It was all good, though.
Well, we had a great time down there, a really great time, and really appreciate you spending some good time with her. Before you take off there, tell me the difference in you're always, in my mind, on. You've got a great head on your shoulders, and you're always project that you're in a good space. But let's just be honest here. Is there a difference of how you feel now as opposed to how you felt 4 days ago?
Yeah, actually. And I was ready for this convention. In fact, I was getting myself ready. A lot of things have changed in the last few years, and everything changed in January. And I actually got overwhelmed with too many computer Zooms and webinars and phone calls. So I kind of backed off. I'm like, okay, wait. And I always have good personal group volume every month. I never really slack, okay? But I wasn't sharing I didn't have the passion for the business and getting other people involved. And I knew I didn't, but I was ready for it. In fact, I made a new life cycle plan Sunday before this conference because I was ready to be ready. And so I went there ready to get my business hat back in gear and to see what was new and to see how the Latin community, where the products are more expensive, people make less money, they just are doing amazing. And it's because of the new compensation plan, and how, it's not based on, well, you do it yourself and then you got to help other people that find their other people to do it. It's actually it's just made it easier that we get to work with who we want to work with, and really enjoy, and people that you resonate with. And when you enjoy life, you attract more people. And when you have this vision and you're happy and you attract more people, business is just going to, really start growing. So I already had a couple people excited today just because of my new effervescent energy. And I don't know, it might have been because I learned how to do a backflip on the dance floor.
Ah! Yes, you did. So
in fact, I think I did 4 of them.
We have a fun new tool that took place in Orlando. Would you share your thoughts on this?
Oh, the triphase, the triphase brochure. Is that what you're talking about?
Trifold, yes.
Okay. It's in my purse. Let's see. Just walking through people, the simplicity of what we're doing. And it's that easy duplication. They have some great phrases on there that is easy to quote. In fact, there's a couple of them I want to pull off to put into text message form and share it with other people. But just walking through this little triphase brochure. Sorry, I don't have it with me. It's in the car. They're all in my car. They're ready to go. And, just sit down with people and create possibility, because when you really look at the numbers of what's possible with NECAN and the fact that everybody needs what we have. In fact, I actually have 2 new customers today, and both of them are interested in the water because it just makes sense. The KVB just makes sense. Even the Ciaga and the Bergesterol, they just make sense. Even the paleo bars, I cut them into bites. I call them paleo bites. This weight control program is just, it all makes sense. So when you talk to people about a home career, not a home-based business, but a home career that they can do anywhere at any time, it makes sense. And this trifold business brochure about the home career is easy to duplicate, show people, and then it's easy for them to share it. So, because everything's on there that you need. You don't have to know it because you can read it.
He uses that phrase right on the front page here, the first home career. A lot of people have home businesses, a business that they might be in for 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years. A lot of network marketing companies, people are in and out for 2 to 3 years at a time, and they're off to the next and off to the next. But this is something you could take in and you could land in for a lifetime. It's that good. It's that good of a company, good of a product line, all those types of things. And this brochure, folks, is tearing up a storm in Texas. Rick he had a gal come to him and said, do you have anything that I could read and show someone else? One of his prospects said that. Do you have anything I could read and show someone else? So he went home and he put a few words down, and she ended up coming back. A prospect had over 10 people in her living room. And she said, let's refine this a little bit. Anyway, they came up with this trifold brochure. And the beauty of it is that they've got things growing and growing. He's seen over 100, if I recall the number right, over 180 people in the last 3 weeks that are new people. And all of it's happening because of this little brochure. And basically he goes in and welcomes people there. He says, I'm really proud to be here, excited to be here, shares a story. And then he says, when it comes to the business, you guys can just read this thing because it answers all the questions about what makes us unique. Let me share my favorite 5. And he shares someone gets up and shares their favorite 5 products, not all of them, just their favorite 5. And then they answer questions. That's the meeting. And just some really amazing stuff going on with this. So this is what Rick created. You can download it for free at pathfinders.biz. Again, you can download it for free at pathfinders.biz. And let me see if I can bring this up really quick for you, just to make sure that you know where to see it. Boom, 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 boom. Share the screen right there, I hope. You should be on pathfinders.biz right now, and you see this button that says downloads. That's the one that I clicked, was the downloads button, and the flyer's right there, and you can click it and get a PDF. You can print out in black and white if you want. So it's free. However, if you're going to print it in color, and he purposely made it mostly white so that it's not going to use as much ink, but by the time you get your glossy paper and you put your ink on it, you're probably into it 30, 40 cents. Dave Johnston went to a printer, and they did over 10,000 of these, which sold out in under 48 hours. They're into their third set of 10,000 right now. And they've got them down to just 15 cents a piece. You can order a bundle of these, a bundle of them for $15. Encourage you to get a hold of those. I want you to think about what kind of damage could you do, what kind of damage you could do if you actually showed 100 people this brochure and shared your favorite 5. 100 people the brochure and shared your favorite 5. Now, there's an event coming up, and we'll talk about this in San Antonio. It's going to be the 3rd week of October. And I have purchased tickets for that. I got them in bulk. So instead of paying $99, you can grab them from me. I think it's $59 is what the cost is. But I have a limited supply. And they only had 105 bundles of tickets. San Antonio is going to be huge. They have several game shows that will take place at the beginning. They're going to have one of the things I'm really excited about. Downstairs in the green room, they're going to have someone with a professional video camera and a script for you to use, and they'll make it so you can download a finished video onto your webpage that says, "Hi, I'm Brody Craney, love Nikan. Nikan changed my life. This is what the products did. Real excited you're here looking at the business. And by the way, if you want to order products, just click right up here." If you don't want to order products, get out of here. But no, I mean, you can have fun with it, and you're going to have a professionally made video that you'll be able to put on your webpage. They're going to have stuff that you'll be able to use for Facebook. They're going to have, anyway, some really cool stuff that you'll be able to do in that. You'll be able to make those while that event's taking place. So San Antonio is going to be big, big news. We're looking at one of the largest events Deacon's had in a long, long time. It's going to be at the Lila Cockrell Theater. And in fact, let me bring this up really quick. If you want to write this down, NIFC17.com. That stands for Nikan International Field Convention. NIFC.com. And if it works here, I'm hopeful.
I'm very excited about this event that's coming up. In fact, Rick already has me working on a couple of things. We're going to have so much fun there. I have a whole different shift. I can't wait to get a bunch of new people there, and I think this brochure is going to be of great assistance. Thank you, Brody.
Absolutely. In fact, this thing's, folks, yeah, we've got a lot of amazing things to work for right now. One is a free trip to Japan with Team Kaizen. And you can do that with getting 4 silvers and having your 500 of QPPV each month, or you can win one of the quarterly contests, be one of the top 2 people. Rick just announced kind of a unique contest, and that is the person with the most number of guests at his event, as long as it's 5 or above, will get $1,000.
Wow.
So they have to be anybody who's signed an application or not signed an application of May 1st or beyond. So anybody that comes in today or beyond will count as new people for that event. That'll be a big, big deal. So you see a little bit online here. The Lila Cockrell Theater here is off to the left. This is the major convention center. I'm not sure if they've got what else we can see down here. Just a moment. Boom. There's a picture of the theater. Beautiful, beautiful stage. Let me come back here. They're going to have some phenomenal, phenomenal training opportunities at this event. They'll have top leaders. They're going to have major folks from South America. And South America is exploding in a major, major way. Let me share some of those statistics with you here. They had, in the first quarter, 10 new royal diamonds,
Jesus.
11 new diamonds, 30 new platinums, 57 new golds, 220 silvers, and 131 executives. So, and again, where the products cost more, people have less themselves, they're doing some stuff right in a major, major way. Their head's not in the way. Let me repeat that. Their head is not in the way. There's a great quote that came back that I wrote down, and you've heard about this over and over, I'm sure, but it's real simple. It's what you think about happens. You might want to write that one down. What you think about happens. So if you're thinking that life is in an uphill run and everything's going to be great, and you just know that this uphill thing, this great goal that you have is going to happen, it'll happen. If you think life is just kind of going to sit there and stay the same, life's going to stay the same. If you think that things are going to be getting worse, they're going to be getting worse. So what you think about happens over and over and over again in your life. So let me go through some highlight notes, and then we'll get back to a couple things that I want to make sure we get before we're done here. Susan Carver spoke. She spoke about the concept of a gap. Everybody in life has a gap. Some people have a gap with their physical well-being. Some people have a gap with their social well-being. Some people have a gap when it comes to their financial well-being. Some people have, we all have gaps. And some people, from where they're at to where they want to be, where they need to be. Maybe it's their retirement. I mean, there are a lot of different places where there can be gaps. So to fill that gap, some people choose to think, well, I'm going to win the lottery. That's going to take care of my gap. Other people decide that they're going to wait for the chance to die. And that's going to take care of their gap. Other people, they look at, well, maybe I can sell some stuff. Maybe that'll fill my gap. Other people say, well, maybe I get a second job or a second business out of my home. I can bake. I can bake and sell things. Maybe that'll fill the gap. Or maybe I can make some stuff out of my garage. And maybe that's going to fill my gap. And one of the things that she talked about was the beauty of what Niken has to fill not just a financial gap, but a whole bunch of gaps that people have in their life. All the way from a social circle that is an unbelievable group of people that lift and build the mind, a group of people who are loving and caring, and then the whole financial portion that you might as well put your mind and effort into something that can build and change the world around you, and not just fill your gap, but help to fill other people's gaps. Anton McBurney did an amazing talk. He said he's got a book out. I did not get the title of the book, but it was probably one of the best workings of the mind talks that I have heard. Just a couple basic quotes that I wrote down. Setting goals is the first step to turning the invisible into visible. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into visible. He talked about creating a BHAG, B-H-A-G, capital B, capital H, capital A, capital G. A big, hairy, audacious goal. And he talked about how BHAGs can invigorate and enliven your day. When you wake up in the morning, your BHAG makes you tick, makes you excited for life, makes everything just awesome in terms of moving forward in life. It's something to live for. But then he also talked about, in order to make a BHAG worthwhile, you've got your character and your values. He had a picture of yin and yang. You've seen them all wrapped around each other. And one of them was the BHAG, and the other was your character and your values. And the characters and values that you develop on your way to your BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goal, those character and values are what allow you to sleep at night. and allow you to be whole. And in many ways, attract many other people to you and your cause and what you're doing. He talked about some people setting a goal, and you need to jump into bed, sweetie. It's bedtime. Paris, bed. Take her in, read to her, okay? Thank you. He talked about some people setting a goal, and they say, yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'll do that goal. And others say, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to do my goal. Some people say, well, why not? Nothing else better to do. And he said, you know, you kind of tell when people talk whether or not they're at their goal. They either give a hell yes or a hell no, but not a hell maybe. And I thought that was kind of interesting, that you never hear the maybe along with that. Are you going to do it or not? Do you have a BHAG? Do you have a BHAG? Because it adds life and energy and excitement to your day. And there are short-term BHAGs that could be, how many people do you want to have in San Antonio? And I'm going to tell you that's going to be one of our best, most exciting events of the year. I'm going to encourage you to get as many people there as you can. A great book, folks, if you're interested in learning how to deal with your BHAG, is Put Your Dream to the Test by John Maxwell. If you're looking for another great book to put on your shelf, if you're done with the one you've got right now, Put Your Dream to the Test by John Maxwell. In there he talks about you have to do it yourself.
You can't do it alone.
And you cannot do it alone. Your BHAG, you have to do it yourself, and you cannot do it alone. It's a koan, a type of poem, but a very powerful poem that illustrates what happens and how this business works in a major, major way. I'd encourage you to write that one down. You cannot do it yourself. Pardon me. You have to do it yourself. You cannot do it alone. Then scale your activities to your goals. And those parts you guys are familiar with, long-term, medium-range goals, all that type of stuff. But I just love that idea of the BHAG looping with the core values. They don't have to be in contrast. They don't have to be against them in any way, shape, or form. Another great book that was talked about, some of you have heard of, is by Simon Sinek, Start With Why. Simon Sinek, Start With Why. Now, in looking at the reviews of that book, some people said that you might want to just consider going to his TED Talk. His TED Talk is much shorter and a much sweetened, condensed version of the book that many people felt kind of meandered instead of getting to the point. They said his TED Talk gets to the point. So Simon Sinek, Start With Why. Dave Johnson said, a fundamental principle of leadership, love those that you serve. Love those that you serve. And as you start your Nikin business, that's a lot of what you're doing, folks. You are donating your time. You are serving other people. Has nothing to do with what you're going to get to begin with. You are donating and serving your time. Love those that you serve. And you will develop an amazing group of people who will follow you through the pits of hell. Our mindset, going back to that first quote that I spoke to you about to begin with, what you think about happens. What you think about happens. Some of you have heard of Tony Robbins. And there was a great story shared about an experience with Tony Robbins. At the end of many of Tony Robbins' seminars, he has a fire walk. And people go out and walk on coals. It's a big rite of passage, so to speak, with his seminars. And one of the things that happens with those is that it's got to be in an area that allows fires. Well, he was going down to I don't remember if it was Australia or the neighboring nation right next to it.
It was Australia.
Okay, going down to Australia, there was a fire ban, and his crew went ahead to get everything set up. And as Tony got off the plane, he was met by the head of the crew and said, "We've got a problem." Said, "There's a fire ban. Everything's dry. It hasn't rained in forever. And there's no way we can do the fire walk. And if we can't do the fire walk, then should we cancel this?" And blah, 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 blah. It was a bad situation because this whole thing that he did was centered in and ends and culminates in this fire walk. And Tony looked at him and he said, "You got the wrong list there." And the guy said, "What do you mean?" Well, he says, "Well, you've given me a list of all the reasons this can't take place. I want to see the list of the reasons why it can take place." And he sat there and he was like, "Wait a minute. Don't you understand? This can't happen. The government has said absolutely no fires. There's no way." Well, long story short, they started looking for reasons why it could, and it did. How many impossibilities in your life could be turned around if you started looking at a list that showed all the reasons why something could or should happen, as opposed to why they can't? Mike DiMuccio and Ben Woodward did some really neat things for us. They found a printer who will do some on-demand printing for us. Again, a printer who will do on-demand printing for us. And they took this pretty little brochure that you see. It's all white. And you know that Mike DiMuccio, if you go to Facebook, you'll find Active Wellness Tour. You will find events taking place all across North America. And they're all branded. They all have the basic same PowerPoint that's going on at it. They're all there launching the new NECAN and the new compensation plan. And by the way, one of the reasons so many great things are happening with the new compensation plan down in South America is that, and all over the place, the old compensation plan held us hostage to your 6 leaders. And if leader number 5, if you couldn't get leader number 5 to qualify, you didn't qualify as a diamond. And then the next month, if you couldn't get leader 3 to qualify, everybody else did, you didn't qualify as a diamond. You were hostage to these 6 key people and juggling all the ropes and making sure that they're qualifying while you're going down and producing volume. Well, the new comp plan made it so that we're no longer hostage to an individual person qualifying. All we do is go where the fire is and help with excitement with the people that want to produce. And at any rate, he talks about the new gig economy, the gig economy. And we've mentioned that a few times here. But the gig economy is where there's a lot of people who are not making ends meet, and they have to go out and get a sideline gig where they're producing extra money on the side. And that's all part of the Active Wellness Tour. But they are, if you will, relaunching NECAN from scratch. Now, let me explain. We have a whole new NECAN. It's like a whole new engine that's in the car. So they're treating it as though it was NECAN or Apple who had the Apple II and the Apple III and the Apple IIc and the Apple IIIc and do you remember Apple way back when? And then they were dead in the water. And then they launched something brand new. Do you remember the iPod? And how they totally revolutionized music. And when they launched that, they didn't go back and talk about the Macintosh or the Apple II or the Apple III. They let what was gone be gone and just started with where they're at and made a whole new launch. And they said, we have an absolutely unbelievable event taking place with this compensation plan. And because Mike went around and did that tour, he had a 50% increase in volume in the month he started that in Canada. And the U.S., as they got on board, have had a 20 and 30% increase. And what he did, I'm taking a long story here, we're getting a unified movement moving forward with that. And they're expecting that the third quarter is going to be the massive explosion. And if you want to be one of the active wellness leaders, you have to have 3 events. And just give us a call. We can tell you how to get plugged into that thing. But anybody can go to the Active Wellness Tour on Facebook and see all the things that are happening there. I'm going to hold this screen up here. Mike took the brochure that Rick did and made it some different graphics. They're a little pricier, but if you like the colors in this more, you'll have access to it. They also went to the same print shop, and you can get T-shirts, golf shirts. It's called Life in Balance Tools. LifeInBalanceTools.com. LifeInBalanceTools.com. There's a brochure that has all of the incentives locked into it. Ben is having some great success. By the way, Ben Woodward has won all of the contests so far as he's launched into the field. You should have seen him tear up as he was talking about Dave Johnson suggesting to him that he enter the field and the place for him. It was really neat. One of the tools is a great cardstock picture of the balance wheel, and it's hard copy. It's got on the back what the process should be, but you throw this down on a table and tell people that our company is centered around these 5 pillars of health, and just start asking some people questions of what do you see as you see that balance wheel. If you were to pick an area on that wheel where you'd like to see improvement in your own life, what would it be? Mind, body, family, society, or finances? And they'll tell you. And then say, well, how would you like to improve in those areas? And why? And you're going to start finding out why. They're going to tell you right then and there why they'd want to be involved with NECAN, even though they don't know they're doing that. So a really great tool that is part of the things being offered. They have another tool to show people the daily activities, the core activities that we would do on a daily basis. There is a $1 million list, people making their 100-name list, and a chart on back for structuring their business as it grows. And one other thing, just a minute, a drum roll. Oh, I gotta find it. Come on, it's gotta be here. I know it's here. It's coming. It's almost here. It's here. You ready? Catalog. Available on prints. Now, they're not cheap. I think they're $9 a pop. However, they exist. And if you went down to Kinko's and had it printed and got one done, you'd be over $40 to get this looking like this and glossy. So these are on demand. They can update it at any time. But again, this is Life in Balance Tools. Write that down. Everybody wants to get a catalog, or they ever want to get those other things. Life in Balance Tools. Now, as for me, I choose the cheap brochure. 15 cents, much better than 45. Okay? I did like and bought one bundle of the incentives brochure. I loved the card. I bought one bundle of those. Okay? You can pick and choose what you want, folks. And I recommend grab a catalog, keep it nice. You can show it to people, they can thumb through it. It gives you something for people that are not electronically literate. Okay? So that may be a good thing for you to have on hand there. But the big one that I want you to really think about is this brochure. Now, literally, if you did 100 presentations, and the beauty of this brochure, folks, you can memorize the words. Make these words your own. They are so beautiful. Get on pathfinders.biz and start reading it tonight. Okay? Little nuggets, little phrases. Start making them your own. But if you went out and gave this brochure and did a quick little demonstration, did your demos and so forth, invited people over, did a wellness home tour, if you had 100 people that got exposed to NECAN, do you think you could find 3 or 4 good ones? I'm serious. Do you think you could find 3 or 4 good ones if you exposed 100 people to it? Absolutely. And the beauty of this is that this, let me back up, let me show you one other thing. Right. Here. I loved this book, The 4-Year Career. Still love it. For people who want to know more about network marketing and how this works. But it's a book. Might take people 3 hours to go through. Guess what? It might take people 3 minutes to go through this. And it's a way of explaining. It's a tool that duplicates. And the cool thing is we're having prospects show prospects the tool. Prospects are showing prospects the tool. Just some really, really great things happening with this. So I will send out later a YouTube, an interview with Rick Murphy about some of the things going on. It was truly electrifying hearing him chat about the stuff. Mach 2 with your hair on fire. Write that down. Mach 2 with your hair on fire. If you have not read the book, get it. Another one recommended. One of the most brilliant talks of the whole event was not mine. In fact, it was one of my huge inspirations in Nikan. It was Julie Tara. And she quoted what she's been learning from a recent book that was really is just amazing. And she talked about shame. She talked about how we withdraw ourselves because people try to shame us out of our success. Now, when we were young, maybe we were shamed because of the clothes that we wore, or the side of the tracks that we grew up on, or our hairstyle, or maybe we were shamed because of the old clunker car we drove, or the old worn-out bicycle that we had. Maybe there's been times when we've been shamed because of the friends that we had, or we were shamed because of the type of job that we had, or the type of house that we had, or all of those things. And when it comes to our goals, so many people will give up because of shame. Will you let somebody else, and sometimes they don't even know they're shaming you. Sometimes people have no idea they're doing it, but we feel it. Will you let that emotion take you away? And she talked about how she was walking down the road and along the sidewalk, and she saw a gentleman that had it was walking as though he had had a stroke. She could tell from the way he was walking that, hey, it looks like he's had a stroke, and I can help. And so she introduced herself and started sharing some stuff. And then, he faked getting a phone call. So he took his fake phone call, and I don't remember what it was that she had to do, but she turned around to take care of something, and he disappeared. And her first feeling or emotion was shame. Oh, I shouldn't have introduced it to him. And then she goes, no, cancel that feeling or that emotion. Cancel that. And replace that with, he has no idea what he just let go of. I could have transformed his life, and he just walked away from it. He's going to come begging. He's going to come begging in a month from now. So the things that we play in our mind, are we playing the shame script? And she used a word that was really wonderful. It was called shame resilience. Shame resilience. Develop it, or you will disengage. Some people feel shame because, oh, I've been doing this business for 6 months or a year or 2 years, and I don't have a big enough check to show. And because they feel like they don't have a check, they feel shame. Are you going to let someone shame you into not being able to move forward with the business? We cripple ourselves with our thinking. And then she said, as you go about thinking about all of the stupid things you say for yourself, she says, when you really think about it, it is flipping boring in our heads. The way she said it was brilliant. She said, most of what we think about is so boring. Why don't you get something exciting to think about? Why don't you get something that lights your fire? Why don't you get something to think about that would light the fire of the people around you? Why don't you get something to think about that would be so big, hairy, and audacious, as she was quoting Anton, that it could literally change a corner of the world. So, really good thoughts there.
And the name of the book is Daring Greatly.
Thank you. Daring. In fact, I didn't get that down in my notes, so I'll stick that down.
By Brene, Brene Brown. I downloaded it on Audible, and I started to listen to it on the way I drive back.
I watched your YouTubes yesterday. Awesome.
That's Peggy.
Oh, you did?
Peggy says
hello, Peggy.
YouTubes, and that great stuff.
Thank you.
Part of that, another part of that I want to share was she said, claim your greatness. Claim your greatness. Too often we belittle ourselves. And if you will claim your greatness, you will help and lift and elevate everybody around you. Now, I'm going to summarize this as quick as I can. Alejandra was one of the people who reached a new rank, a new diamond ship in South America. She has 4 young children, and she gave up her career and then realized, boy, they had 3 children, and then her husband had a vasectomy, and they hadn't intended on having the 4th, but she found herself pregnant. It was funny. She showed a picture of the 4th child and the baby picture of her husband just to prove that it really was from him. And she said, it's expensive having 1 child in Mexico. Not many have 2. It's almost unheard of to have 3 and 4. People just stare at her. She said, one of the things that she teaches people to do is to have a burning desire. And she was taught to begin with that she should gather her people together. So every month she gathers her people together in her home. And that's how she started her monthly planning. And it started out with just a small group of people, 5, 6, 7 folks. And then it went up to 15. And then it went up to 30, 35, 40. And then it just got too crazy big to be able to host in her house. And the thing she would do at that monthly meeting is they would strategize whatever the monthly incentive was. They would answer questions. She would often bring in a special guest. She would share interesting topics. They would have recognition for the people that were there. Types of recognition she would do was recognize people that had over 500 in personal retail sales. She would recognize everyone that had over 2,000 in personal group volume. She'd have an early breakfast for them. And a raffle, a yearly raffle for people who maintain 2,000 personal group volume for the entire year. And you can create your own goals, but those were just the types of things that she did that were kind of fun for her group. And it was electrifying to watch as it went. And it turns out she basically has 3 hours during the day that she sets aside to do Nikken. And then in the evening, after she puts her kids down, she has about another hour to hour and a half where she can run some calls. But she has built, I want to say it was in a 4-year period, her diamond ship. But anyway, she uses WhatsApp on a regular basis, Facebook on a regular basis. Another great quote you might want to write down: make your life a masterpiece. Make your life a masterpiece. You're going to be painting a picture anyway. Might as well make it a masterpiece.
And the book that she recommended is The 5-Second Rule. I'm your co-host here. I didn't know
appreciate it. Folks, write these down. Write these down.
Transform your life. Work in confidence with everyday courage. And it's only The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. And coincidentally, I downloaded it last week on Audible.
Powerful stuff, folks. It's these, we've got a great tool here, the brochure. We've got amazing products. We have, there's been countless people who've succeeded in Nikken in the past, countless people succeeding in Nikken now. The only difference about whether we're going to succeed or not has to do with our mind. And these little nuggets are some of the things that can transform. Dave Johnson talked about so much about success is passing out good stuff. Good stuff for people to look at, read, review. It also has to do with your presentation as well, but passing out good stuff, having the tools to have on hand. He says this tool, this brochure, he's tested with executives, he's tested with men, he's tested with women, and he's tested with millennials. And one of the things that surprised him is he thought millennials were going to be, well, you know, the old deal of, I need to look it up. It's got to be on the computer. But one of the most beautiful things that he's found is that it's turning out that a piece of paper is a novelty now, especially one about a career opportunity. And they're kind of hoarding it and sitting and reading and supping it in. Beautiful stuff. We joke back and forth. He's like me, long presentations, 70-piece PowerPoints, and he always has to work on cutting them back. And I said, yeah, I just made one of those long presentations about the Kensen Vital Balance. I said, how do you keep it short? He says, well, the best thing to introduce KVB is just to tell people it's the absolute best thing on the market for weight loss next to a needle and thread. Well, you can sew your lips shut or you can take KVB. Which do you want? So if you're looking for a great quote for your Kensen Vital Balance, I'm going to keep that one. It's a beauty. 80% of our consultants are women. 80% of our consultants are women. Why do the women need it? Why do they relate? Well, maybe they're divorced. Maybe they're needing an extra income. Maybe they're wanting to find a way for their husband not to have to be stressed and to bring them home. Maybe it's because women make most of the decisions about health in the household. Whatever the reasons are, that is what's out there. So they're also really good talkers, much better than most of us men who kind of oomph and grump and grunt a lot, you know, and we don't always get the word out the way we like to. We like to keep things short and sweet, but the women are okay to talk. So make sure you're not passing anybody up out there, folks. All right, just to wrap it up, $1,000. $1,000 for the person who brings the most guests to the San Antonio event. And I may even be sweetening that pot. But we're going to look into that here just shortly. But Rick is offering company-wide $1,000 the person who brings the most guests. And I'm here to tell you that if you brought 5, you're probably going to be in the running. You brought 6, you might really be in the running. 7, you probably got it. So I just encourage you to tell people about this event. It's going to be incredible product training, meet top leaders from around the globe. There's going to be new products introduced. It's going to be an absolute fun, exciting event. San Antonio is one of the funnest cities to visit out there. You've got the Alamo right there to go and visit, an amazing city to tour. You've got the what do you call it? The river walk. We'll call it the Vienna of the U.S., these little gondola boats that go through, and you've got singing entertainment on the sides of the beach and all this types of stuff. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful place. Tremendous amount of culture, and the Lila Cockrell Theater is a phenomenal, phenomenal venue. You do not want to miss it. Now, if you want one of my tickets, email me, text me now. I'll get back to you. I have just 10. I don't know if there will be any more discount tickets available. So if you want one of them, let me know. And let's get those plugged in right away. In fact, I would suggest you might want 3 of them. 1 for you and 2 of your guests. So you may want to chew on that. Pull up a friend and say, hey, let's go have some fun in San Antonio. Maybe go a day early and go golfing. You know, have some fun with it. So that contest is there. Mark your calendar. In fact, let me give you the date. Just a moment. The exact date for San Antonio, so you can plug it in into your calendar right now, is in October. Whoop, I got to go to months and not days. It is October the 19, 20, and 21. And that's the evening of the 19th. And then Friday and Saturday, the 20th and 21st, they have a party on the evening of the 21st. And there's usually a leadership event training that you can plug into on the morning of the 22nd. So that's what's taking place there. We've already talked about the new compensation plan exploding. The new tools are available and exploding. Let me give you, if you don't have it, order them right away before they run out in this run. From Dave, if you have not ordered already, get at least 100 brochures. I think for the same cost of shipping 100, you can ship 200. Just ask there. They're not making any profit on this, folks. It is they're just doing everything they can to give you good tools to make a difference. So the number for Dave's office is 208-262-4044. That's 208-262-4044. Once again, the new tools are available via lifeinbalancetools.com, lifeinbalancetools.com. And I believe that wraps this up for the evening. You're going to want to get registered on Facebook for the Active Wellness Tour. Again, Active Wellness Tour, search that out. And then you'll see events that are coming up there on a regular basis. I believe that's it. Did anybody else join who was at the convention that wants to share? And Linda, is there anything else that you want to throw in?
If you look at the contest, if you have five to seven guests / new consultants after May 1st, even if you don't win the $1,000, you still win by having new people there. Especially
you got 5 people there?
Yeah.
Wouldn't we need to have 4 of those going silver right out the gate?
I mean, it just once people see it, it's just common sense. It makes sense, and meeting the people. There's no other group of people like weekend people. Big hearts, like to make a difference, and that community.
Okay. Linda, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We will see you next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend week. Take care, everybody.
Beautiful recap. Thank you, Brody.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.